Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Lady Nyca, and with some celebrity talk. Today's celebrity talk is about Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein today was sentenced to 23 years in prison. The sentence capped a stunning downfall for Mr. Weinstein, a former Hollywood mogul who was convicted of 2 felony sex crimes. Harvey Weinstein, the once influential Hollywood producer, was sentenced to 23 years in a New York State prison on Wednesday after his conviction on 2 felony sex crimes, capping a 2-year plummet from grace over his sexual abuse of women. The sentencing marked a major milestone in the Me Too movement, which gained momentum after several women went public with their complaints about Mr. Weinstein. Women rights organizations and Mr. Weinstein's accusers had celebrated the producer's conviction, calling it a start of a new era for women empowerment. The judge, James A. Burke, who presided over the trial in the state Supreme Court in Manhattan, could have sentenced Mr. Weinstein, who is 67, to as little as 5 years, but he heeded the arguments of prosecutors who urged him to hand down a long sentence. Before the sentencing, the two of Mr. Weinstein victims gave emotional statements about the damage he had done to them. Marion Haley, who testified Mr. Weinstein forced oral sex on her in 2006, that he had forever altered her life and crushed her spirit. He violated my body and my trust and my personal right to deny sexual advances, she said. For his part, Mr. Weinstein suggested in a rambling speech to the court that he thought his relationship with the victims were consensual, and he was totally confused by what was happening to him. We may have different truths, but I have remorse for all of you and for all of the men going through this crisis, he said, addressing his accusers. He added, I feel real remorse for this situation. It is deeply in my heart. I am really trying to be a better person. Justice Burke was unmoved. He gave Mr. Weinstein 20 years for the felony attack on Ms. Haley and an additional 3 years for the rape of Jessica Mann, an aspiring actress who testified he had forced himself on her in a Manhattan hotel in 2013. All 6 of the women who had given graphic accounts on the witness stand of Mr. Weinstein's sexual assaults had entered the courtroom together and sat in the front row of the gallery, just behind the prosecutor's table. Some sobbed as the sentence was announced. Next to them sat the Manhattan District Attorney, Cyrus Vance. The rows behind Mr. Weinstein, who was in a wheelchair, were largely empty. A Manhattan jury of 7 men and 5 women found Mr. Weinstein guilty on February the 25th. After 5 days of deliberation, however, the jury acquitted Mr. Weinstein on the most serious charges against him: 2 counts of predatory sexual assault, which required prosecutors to prove that he had committed a serious sexual assault against at least 2 women. Those charges were constructed by the prosecutor, required the jury to find Mr. Weinstein had raped the actress Annabella Sciorra in the early 90s at her apartment, but some jurors doubted her account. The jury also determined that Mr. Weinstein was not guilty of first-degree rape in the 2013 attack on Ms. Mann. That charge required the state to prove that a use of force or threat during the attack. The jury instead opted to convict him of third-degree rape, which required prosecutors to prove only that she did not consent. Arguing for a lengthy sentence, prosecutors had pointed to a long list of allegations from women who said Mr. Weinstein had sexually assaulted them over decades. The earliest allegation prosecutors noticed was from a woman who said he raped her on a business trip in 1978. Well, I'll link the article down below to which I'm referencing so you guys can go over and read it for yourself. But it looks as if Mr. Weinstein is on his way to prison for 23 years. Now, in his case, with as many allegations that were levied against him, he knew he did something. Like I said, I've always been a proponent for letting it go to trial and letting the evidence speak for itself, and clearly the evidence has spoken for itself. So now Mr. Weinstein, at the age of 67, is going to prison for 23 years, which is basically a life sentence for him. Get down in the panic section and let me know your thoughts and opinions on this entire situation involving Harvey Weinstein, now sentenced to 23 years in a New York State prison for the crimes that he committed against these women. I want to know how you guys really feel about it. Please let me know down below. And you guys know I'm out right now because I had a procedure done along with my date with Ben. So I probably will not be live again this week. But keep me in your prayers as I keep you all. That's it. That's all. Remember, the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember to rate the video. Ratings get me recognized on these YT streets. Comment down below in the pan and let me know your thoughts and opinions about Harvey Weinstein, this entire situation, and the Me Too movement, what it means for them. If you have not subscribed to this channel or my backup channel, Lady Nyca Live, please subscribe to both of the channels today, tapping the notification bell button once you have subscribed, and set it to all so that each and every time I drop a pre-recorded video or go live from this channel, you guys will get a notification and you can come over and join in the conversation. Have a great remainder to your Wednesday. I'm definitely going to try to do the same. Peace.